Hi guys, hope you are doing well. After watching this presentation, if you find this presentation useful, do subscribe the channel to get the notification of any upload as and when it happens. So here we go. This presentation is going to mainly focus on diagram based questions, and within the diagram based questions my focus will be on demand and supply diagram. And within the demand and supply diagram, the main focus will be on determinants of supply, which results in shift in the supply curve. So here we go. Guys, you will get questions based on this topic possibly in both paper 1 and 2. Not necessarily. It is not compulsory that the question is going to come from this topic in the paper. But if it is going to come in paper 1, there are somewhere around 1 to 2 questions which are asked uh, in the MCQ paper. And in paper 2, in section A, sometimes there is a possibility that one 4-mark question may be asked covering this aspect. And in section B, sorry, sometimes 6 marks question is asked. So therefore, this presentation may have a potential to prepare you for possibly a 6-mark question or a 10-mark question, 6 plus 4, or maybe 11-mark question. Generally, it won't happen uh, because papers are made, IGCSE papers are made in such a good manner that they try to cover vast areas so that you do not have double loss for not understanding any particular concept. What I mean by this, that suppose if you are struggling with the concept of determinant of supply and how it will affect the supply curve, you should not be penalized in paper 1, section A of paper 2 and section B of paper 3. So um, a question may be asked in either one of the place, so that if you know it, you score once, you are not getting over benefit because vast concepts are going to be explored by you in a IGCSE curriculum, and the assessment will try to assess you in as many concepts as possible. So either you may get a 6-mark question or a 4-mark question or a MCQ question of a 1 mark. Maximum maybe indirectly 2 questions, not more than that. Guys, in paper 2, question may highlight a change in any one of the determinant of supply for any given product, and either expects you to analyze the effect of that change on the market of that product using demand and supply diagram. In that case, the question may be asked for 6 marks. Understand, I said you may be expected to analyze. So analysis skills AO2, assessment objective 2, are tested under a 6-mark question, which covers even your knowledge and understanding also. Means AO1, assessment objective 1. Or the question may ask you to just show the effect of change in any of the determinant of supply on the market of that particular product. So if you are asked to analyze the effect of change on the market of that product, then the question will be of 6 marks. Whereas if you are asked just to show the change, show the effect of change through diagram, it will be of 4 marks. A 4-mark question you may find in paper 2 section A, and a 6-mark question you will find in paper 2 section B, as we have discussed earlier. In paper 1, the similar thing will be there, but then the for the effect, which one is the correct effect will be asked to you by providing multiple options. It may be asked by showing you a picture of a diagram and asking you whether the new equilibrium will be an option A or option B or option C or option D. Multiple new equilibrium will be given in the diagram, and any one of the option will be correct. If you understand the concept well, you will find the question very easy in scoring. Or sometimes the question is presented in a tabular form, where a particular change in a determinant of supply is being given in the question, and you will be asked that how it will affect the output in that market, output of that product in the market, or a supply curve, how it will affect the supply curve, how it will affect the price of that product in the market. Means, will the output rise or fall, increase or decrease, or supply curve will shift to right or left. Sometimes they may not ask for supply curve, may only ask for supply. So will the supply increase or decrease? And will the price fall or rise? So those options will be given to you. Multiple option MCQ paper is there, what we are talking about. So there in paper 1, such type of questions can be asked. Now let's understand determinant of supply. What does it mean? Determinants of supply are all the non-price factor affecting the supply. They either cause an increase in supply at every price or a decrease in supply at every price. By every price, I mean that suppose earlier at $10 market price, 50 units of a particular product were supplied. Now at $10, either 60 units, maybe more than 50 units will be supplied, or less than 50 units, let's say 40 units may be supplied. So and this will happen along the supply curve, because supply curve shows various quantities supplied at various possible prices. So at each and every possible price, due to change in the determinant of supply, either the producer will be willing to supply more, or producer will be willing to supply less. And what are those determinants? What are those non-price factors which may affect supply? They include changes in the number of firms, means suppliers or producers, due to change in business optimism and expectation. If business is very optimistic about the growth of a particular product's market, means they are hopeful that this product will be more preferred by customers. So more firms would like to enter in the market. Or if firms find that this product is profitable and businesses engaged in producing that product are making profit, more firms would like to enter in that industry. So it may bring changes in the number of firms by increasing the number of firms or supplier or producers. And the reverse may happen. If people start disliking certain product, maybe there is a uh, negative publicity of certain products, so people may start disliking that product. If firms find that this product is not liked, many firms would like to reallocate their resources to produce something else, so the number of firms leave the market. And when this will happen, the supply is going to change. How it will happen, we will see it later on in this presentation. Another determinant of supply is cost of production. Any factor which may affect the cost of production. Now suppose a producer is having, let's say, $10,000 to supply. In $10,000, a producer can supply, let's say, 5,000 units of a particular product. If that means each unit is costing somewhere $2, 5,000 times 2 is 10,000. So if a producer is having $10,000, using that 5,000 units of a product can be made. So each unit is costing producer some $2. Suppose due to any reason the cost increases from $2 to $3. Now with the same amount of $10,000, producer is going to supply less, because this money will not be sufficient to keep producing 5,000 units anymore. Similarly, if due to some factor which cause a fall in the cost of production, instead of $2, now it may cost producer to produce that product just $1.5. Now in $10,000, producer can supply more of that product. So any change in cost of production is going to change the supply. Cost of production may rise, cost of production may fall. If it rises, supply will fall. And if cost of production falls, supply will rise, because with the given amount of money, now more can be produced if the cost is less. If cost is more, with the same amount of money, less can be produced. Now, what are the factors affecting the cost of production? Any factor of production, if become expensive or if become cheaper, is going to affect the cost of production. If labor was available earlier for $10 per hour, now it is available for $12 per hour. That means cost of labor is increasing. So does the cost of production. If the natural resources, land is a natural resource, if natural resources becoming expensive, land also will include a piece of plot whose rent has become high. So now a bigger part of the money will go to pay rent, so less will be available to produce anything. So cost of production is rising. Similarly, if uh, machines are becoming expensive to hire, so the cost of capital is rising, or machine is becoming cheaper to hire, then cost of production is falling. So changes in the price of any factor of production is going to change the cost of production. Also, indirect tax. If indirect tax imposed by the government, producer has to spend more money. Part of the money which producer had is going to the government. And if indirect tax is cut by the government, now producer will have extra money left. So the cost of production will fall. If government provides subsidy, subsidy means a grant given by the government to the producer, and the main aim of subsidy is to enable the producer to produce more, because part of the cost of production of producer is now contributed by the government, because government is going to give a financial assistance, because subsidy is a financial assistance. So if government provides subsidy, cost of production is going to go down. On the contrary, if government decide to withdraw the subsidy due to changes in the priority of the government realizes that a particular product which was subsidized earlier, there is no more subsidy needed for that. So government may withdraw the subsidy. So cost of production may rise. Anything which changes the cost of production is going to affect the supply, therefore the supply curve. So cost of production is a determinant of supply as a result. The next is advancement of technology. Advancement of technology is a positive term. Means if you find a better way of producing something, a more efficient way of producing something, it means your cost of production is going to fall. Supply shocks. Shocks means for which you are not prepared, which may not be directly in your control. Changes in the external environment, which was beyond the control of a business or a firm. Such shocks can be good for you, such shocks can be bad for you, like lockdown, pandemic. During COVID-19 pandemic, the lockdown was an external shock. It was not good for anybody. However, possibly the businesses which were engaged in making mask, hand sanitizer, for them it may turn out to be profitable, because the way we have used hand sanitizer all over the world, face mask all over the world, we have never used them ever before in such a quantity. The consumption of hand sanitizer and mask has increased many folds. So the businesses who are engaged in making them must be making profits, because this shock turned out to be very favorable shock for them. Do not consider that okay, I am appreciating pandemic. No, but every business uh, faces the external factor differently. Some see as an opportunity, some see as adversity. So that's how the shock can be favorable as well as unfavorable. We will see to it later, little more. Joint supply is another determinant of supply. When we will move to the joint supply slide, that time I will spend time on it. Otherwise, it will become a bit repetitive. So I'm avoiding it now. It is another determinant of supply. As of now, we can note that. The presentation will go very long if I will cover all the determinants of supply. So I am going to cover one determinant of supply a bit in detail. For other determinants of supply, I am going to take a bit shortcut route, but that route will also be presented in such a way that this whole presentation will be uh, easy to comprehend by you. It may add some value to your understanding. That is a definite hope. So we are focusing in this presentation on understanding determinant of supply. First one, which I listed over there. First one did not mean that there is a particular order, just the first in the list which I have shared with you. Changes in number of firms, suppliers or producer. Uh, when number of firms supplying or producing a particular product increases, more can be supplied at every price. Whereas when the number of firms decreases, it will cause a fall in supply at every price. Now, why the firm will increase or why the firms will decrease in number? When a business or firm are optimistic about the growth of the market of certain product, if they are hopeful that uh, this product will continuously be demanded and the demand may only keep rising for a particular product, so new firms will also find making that product profitable, as I mentioned earlier as well. So many firms will start allocating their resources towards producing that product. On the contrary, when they fear decline in the market, many of them leave that market. For example for a 4-mark question, you will find both the examples are similar. Only differences in one example I am trying to show that just show the effect through the diagram, and in another example you have to analyze it. So the process is basically similar. The 6-mark question will have an extension where you will not only be drawing the diagram for the example, but also will be analyzing it, means explaining it. Example is, draw a demand and supply diagram to show the effect of increase in the number of suppliers of hand sanitizers on the market of hand sanitizers. Now the same example is repeated for 6 marks, just the term analysis is added there. Rest is same. We can see on the screen that there is a market of hand sanitizers indicated by the interaction of market forces of demand and supply. There is a demand curve labeled as D and a supply curve labeled as S. These are the original demand and supply curve. Original demand and supply curve means the demand and supply curve initially when there was no change in any of the determinant of supply. So the demand curve D was intersecting the original supply curve S at E. E indicates market equilibrium. At market equilibrium, the equilibrium price is denoted by P and equilibrium quantity by Q. We have labeled the axis, horizontal axis, as quantity of hand sanitizers because the product is given. Whichever is the product in question, we need to mention that quantity of hand sanitizer. If the product is something else, let's say quantity of cars or quantity of uh, motor vehicles other than car, like quantity of motorbike, quantity of schools, anything. On vertical axis, we are labeling price of hand sanitizers in INR. INR stands for Indian National Rupee. It's a currency of India. You can mention whatever currency is acceptable in your country. It may be dollar, it may be euro, it may be yen, yuan, whatever. Now, when the new suppliers enter into the hand sanitizer market, means the number of firms increased. When more firms are going to supply curve is going to shift to the right. Means supply is going to increase at every price, which is shown by the new supply curve towards the right side of the old supply curve, which is labeled as S1. You can see the arrow. Arrow is showing a rightward movement. These arrows are very important because these arrows shows the direction of change and also makes the diagram dynamic. They add value to your diagram. So S shifted to S1 because new firms entered into the market. When the supply increase, it has affected both price and quantity. You can see on the price axis, means vertical axis, where the price is indicated, P falling to P1 indicated by a downward arrow. On horizontal axis, where the quantities are shown, Q increased to Q1 indicated by a arrow moving to right. And we can find the market of hand sanitizers have found a new market equilibrium in the form of E1. This complete diagram is sufficient enough for you to get 4 marks if it's a 4-mark question. And if it's a 6-mark question, then also this will add 4 marks to you. The remaining 2 marks will be for explanation. Let us see on the next frame of this presentation. You can see the breakup of marks. If it's a 4-mark question, all 4 marks are for diagram. See the right side column of the table. If it's a 6-mark question, again 4 marks for diagram and 2 marks for explanation. How the 4 marks of diagram are divided? 1 mark for drawing correct demand and supply curve. Which one? The old one, D and S. 1 mark for labeling both the axes. You have seen horizontal axis quantity, vertical axis price. Mention the product about which the question is. 1 mark for drawing a correct new supply curve. The new supply curve in this question is shifted to right. If the question is different, it may shift even to left, depending on the change in the given determinant of supply. 1 mark for showing a change in the market equilibrium by labeling old and new price, remember P and P1, old and new quantity, remember Q and Q1, old and new equilibrium, remember E and E1. Each point we have labeled to make the diagram completely labeled. We do not want to leave any stone unturned to score full 4 marks. And showing movement through arrows. Remember, we have shown 3 arrows, one arrow indicating the shift in the supply curve, one arrow indicating the change in the price, and one arrow indicating change in the output, means quantity. And 2 marks are for explanation. In this case, explanation will go like this. COVID-19 pandemic. I have given a reference to COVID-19 pandemic. You can give reference depending on the nature of the question, because you need to give the cause of the change and also the resultant effect. COVID-19 pandemic has made people more aware of maintaining hygiene. The demand may continue to remain high. Whose demand? Hand sanitizers. Therefore, new firms enter into the market of hand sanitizers to supply them, finding it profitable, because they are finding it profitable, so they want to supply. The demand may continue to remain high, which has caused the supply to increase, resulting in price to fall and rise in the output. This is how the explanation has to be done. Any question where the analysis is required, where the marks are there for explanation, why the determinant has changed, mention that a cause of the change and the effect of change in the form of effect on output, price, and also mention the shift in the supply or a increase or decrease in the supply. Shift is happening in which direction, right or left, supply is increasing or decreasing, that has to be mentioned. That will make you score full marks. Guys, as I mentioned earlier, just to keep the presentation short, I have mainly covered in detail one of the determinant of supply. Now, another determinant of supply I have presented in tabular form. If there is any query, you can share in the comment box. I will respond to you. As early as possible. At the earliest, you will get my response. Changes in the cost of production. If the cost of production increases, supply decrease, as firm can produce less with a given amount of resources and vice versa. That means if the cost of production decreases, supply will increase. Now, which are the factors which may affect the cost of production? There is a possibility that the price of raw material used in production rises. If the price rise, cost of production will rise. You can see in the columns. The columns are indicating the effect on the cost of production of a change in a particular factor of cost of production. How it will affect the supply, how it will affect the supply curve, how it will affect price and the output. So, rise in the price of raw material will cause an increase in cost of production. Therefore, supply will fall. In the diagram, it will be represented by a leftward shift in the supply curve. When the supply curve will shift to left, price will rise and output will fall. Market will find its new equilibrium at a lower output. Similarly, other options are explained over here. Other possibilities are explained in the form of fall in price of raw material, how it will affect, how the rise in wages or a fall in wages will affect the market equilibrium. All are the determinants of supply. Wages are paid to labor. Labor is a factor of production. Raw material is a factor of production, means resource. So whenever a price of resource change, cost of production will change. When government impose tax, it increases the cost of production for the producer. And if government cut the tax, indirect tax here we are talking, cost of production decreases. Similarly, I spoke about provision of subsidy. If the subsidy is provided by the government, producer has to spend less money from pocket. With the given amount of money added add on from the finance in the form of financial assistance from the government, producer will have more money, so the supply will increase. Effect on supply, as I mentioned, supply curve therefore will shift to right, price will fall, and output will rise. The reverse may happen when government will cut the subsidy provided. Like in India, government of India used to provide subsidy on petrol. People are more concerned about environment nowadays than ever before. So government of India is slowly and steadily withdrawing subsidy from petrol because burning of petrol causes harm to environment. So that can be an example where the cut in subsidy happens. Simultaneously, government of India is uh, very aggressively trying to introduce electric vehicle in the market. So government of India or many states government in India, like state of like in Delhi, the Delhi government has provided subsidy for electric cars. Our government in our country, India, has also provided subsidy for solar panels. So various reasons are there to provide subsidy, and where the subsidies are already existing, they can be cut also because government priority keep on changing. Same applies to indirect tax as well. Indirect tax can be imposed, their rates can be increased, and their rates can be cut also. When government find that a particular indirect tax is making it difficult for people to afford certain product and which is important for the people, government may cut the indirect tax. When government realize some product is very harmful for consumption, they keep on continuously increasing the rate of indirect tax, the amount of indirect tax imposed. So when the indirect tax is imposed, the cost of production will rise. The next determinant of supply is supply shocks. We were discussing earlier, supply shocks are the external factors which are beyond the control of business, sudden changes in the external scenario, which may be favorable for some businesses, may be unfavorable for some businesses, and accordingly they may affect the uh, supply of the product in various markets. Some of the supply shocks are listed here and their effect on the cost of production, the supply curve, price, and output. Some of the supply shocks can be a natural calamity like flood, drought, tsunami, earthquake, etc., which may uh, reduce the supply, so the supply curve shifts to left. Some are man-made calamities also like terrorism, war, etc., are man-made. They could have been easily avoided. There is no act of God or a nature in that. But they also affect the supply, and they both are adverse. However, it depends on the nature of business. If you remember, I discussed with you that how COVID-19 pandemic may have benefited the businesses engaged in producing hand sanitizers and masks, possibly. So when there is a war-like situation, firms which are engaged in supplying defense equipments, means war weapons or anything which is related to war, maybe even the uniform and other equipments used by soldiers, businesses engaged in supplying them may find increase in sales. Another supply shock can be favorable weather conditions, like a good monsoon spell may increase the yield of many crops, or maybe there is a discovery of resources of certain products. Like recently, I was coming across. I'm recording this video on 4th of March 2021, and latest uh, development in India is that India has become importer of copper instead of exporter of a copper, because there was one company, due to some environmental uh, violations, is restricted from supplying copper. So uh, resources are there, but the supply has reduced because of that, and the price of copper in Indian market have increased as a result. Unfavorable weather conditions like poor monsoon or a cyclone, etc., will also affect the cost of production, therefore the supply curve, price, and output. Another determinant of supply is advancement of technology. As I mentioned earlier, it's a very positive thing for if the technology is appropriate to the needs of the country or to the needs of the firm. It is going to improve efficiency. Efficiency means resources will be better used. Wastage of resources can be reduced, if not eliminated. So the cost of production reduces because of advancement of technology. And whenever the cost of production reduces, or when our productivity increases, we are able to produce more in less inputs. With the same amount of factors of production, we can produce more, or we can produce the same amount of output by less factors of production. It indicates we have developed a technology to make better use of our resources. So that's called advancement of technology. So better use of resources, or found out the way of making the out increasing the speed of output. So greater output is produced in a same amount of time. All this will lead to increase in the supply. So supply curve will shift to right. As a result, price will fall and output may rise. One last determinant of supply we will cover in this presentation. You remember joint supply I did not discuss with you earlier. Joint supply means when we produce a particular product. While producing that product, it is not possible that that product can be produced independently. There will definitely be one or more additional products will be produced simultaneously. So products which cannot be produced independently from one another, they are produced together, are considered as produced in joint supply. Or we can say, while producing a particular product, when essentially another one or more products are produced, we call it joint supply. Like while refining crude oil, it yields petroleum as well as paraffin, lubricants, and chemical basis plastics. Therefore, if there is a rise in the crude oil supply, there will definitely be a rise in petroleum, paraffin, lubricant like products. Uh, as per one fact, in the refinement of crude oil, some 1500 byproducts can be produced simultaneously. In India, out of them, some 150 products are produced. Petroleum, paraffin, lubricants are among those 150 products. So therefore, if the supply of crude oil, if the supply of petroleum is going to increase, or if the supply of crude oil is going to increase. Now crude oil is going to be refined. So when refining of crude oil happens, supply of petroleum, paraffin, lubricant all may increase. There is another example. If the supply of the meat of sheep will increase in the market, that means the supply of sheep wool is also going to increase simultaneously. Therefore, if the question is what will be the effect, or analyze the effect of decrease in the supply of meat of sheep on the market of sheep wool, what will happen if the supply of sheep meat will reduce, supply of sheep wool may also fall. Supply curve may shift to left, price may rise, and output may fall. So that is what joint supply. Now guys, there are some questions which are from IGCSE past papers. There are some 4 marks question and 6 mark question. Try them out, discuss among groups. If there is any query, feel free to write to me. I will be happy to help you out. There are some, there are just few questions. Uh, there are many other possible questions. Practice as much as you can. Once the concept is clear, be careful while reading the question, and I'm sure you will be getting full marks, whether it's a 1 mark question or a 4 mark question or a 6 mark question. Okay guys, this is an end of presentation. Thanks for your time. If you like this presentation, it's great. If you find it useful and would like to subscribe this channel, it is also very great, because you may be able to get the notification as and when I upload any new presentation. Till then, all the best. Take very good care of yourself, and keep enjoying the learning.